Good morning, and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Today we're talking about ambition, which is an oft misunderstood, misconstrued concept that I think is super important to think about and to find creative ways to include in your approach. So we'll talk about that really important topic today. If you are new to the show, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We have a really powerful, innovative, narrative-based approach, meaning that everyone's life has historically told a story based upon their actions, etc. Everyone's life is currently telling a story, and everyone's life will eventually tell a story. We help individuals think about that concept, about where they've been, where they are, and what story they'd like to have their life eventually tell. So you can go to, again, productivethroughjoy.com, or simply hit that subscribe button here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel and get all these videos for free. I did say free. 1, 2, 3, 4, free. Thanks for being here, guys. For those of you who are also new, I should probably say a few words about myself. Again, this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller, Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called my people, and I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel, Americus, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson. Of course, Michael Brown was murdered. God bless him and his family. That book interrogates the intersection of race, family, and violence in the American family. Um, I'm on tour for that book, which I'll get to in a second. I'm also the author of the super brand new book, just April 10th, it came out, called Animating Black and Brown Liberation, a Theory of American Literatures, which is a book that examines the intersection of activism and literature. What can fiction, what can plays teach us about best practices, about strategies for activism that can then be applied to the real world? The book also creates a whole new, we call it a technology, a whole new approach for adjudicating, for evaluating for evaluating literature by using a term called anking, a theory, a technology called anking. So really interesting book, which is a justice-based approach to examining literature. Really innovative book. I'm on tour for both of those books now because that book just came out too. So I'm busy. My mind is busy. So we'll be at the Brattleboro Literary Festival in Vermont. We'll be in Kentucky at the Kentucky Literary Festival. We'll be at Northern Illinois University. Is that right? Yeah, in Chicago. We'll be here in California at the Pasadena Lit Fest. We're coming towards you, so when you see me, reach out. I'm also the board president of the World Stage, a great literary and jazz venue here in Los Angeles, great 501c3 nonprofit. My educational background, you can go to theworldstage.org to learn more about that great nonprofit, 7 days a week, programming, music, literature. We have a press, we publish books. I mean, I can go on. It's great. We have my educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California, Riverside. I'm currently a professor of English lit at LMU here in Los Angeles. I'm an expert at being productive, right? I don't say that to brag or boast, but people are almost always surprised at that level of productivity, given how crazy my own personal story is. I am the product of a young girl who was violated at 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee at the age of a month. So at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD, yet as Kool Modi famously said, how you like me now, right? And if I can be this productive through joy, we are arguing that many people can be as productive through joy. And that really inspires me personally, but also our business. We love to help people help themselves because we know when people like us can make it, can have success despite extraordinary odds against us. I'm extraordinary odds. People like me from where I am from typically just don't do these types of things. So, and we know when folks like us can make it, we can offer an inspirational element to people's lives. So we really enjoy that aspect of it as well. So, and I need inspiration, so we're happy to provide that for other people. So thanks for being here. Again, today we're talking about um, ambition and productivity. Again, go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about that. Let's dive into the topic today: ambition and productivity. So point one is you want to self-abuse yourself. You want to disabuse uh, yourself of the notion that ambition is bad. I mean, ambition gets kind of a bad rep because at times ambitious people do bad things, act poorly. Ambition is good. You want to have ambition. You know, ambition can be defined as seeking to do something great, right? I like to think of ambition as a pursuit of greatness, right? I'm a big basketball fan and a ball player. LeBron, I love the greatness of LeBron James, the greatness of Michael Jordan, in his own way, the greatness of Kobe Bryant, for different reasons for all three of those ball players, right? The greatness of, modern basketball of the Greek freak whose name I can't pronounce, but the brother who plays for the Bucks, Giannis. I mean, we're talking the greatness of Kevin Durant, which is, of Steph Curry, which is really impressive cats who've changed the game. Uh, in the business world, the greatness of Stephen Jobs as a businessman, Warren Buffett, the consistently innovative and powerful approach to business those two men have taken. So, how do we go about introducing ambition to our own lives in a way that can be helpful? All right. So, point two is you want to be able to define your own ambition, right? Uh, I'm thinking about Tupac's song, "My ambitions of a rider, rider." I'm not saying that. What I'm saying though is I just like that song. I'm just saying you want to think about what particular areas do you want to be ambitious about, right? So for me, I'm ambitious about spirituality. I want to learn, I want to know thyself, as the ancient Kemetic folk in Africa said, the ancient Egyptians, right? That was the ambition of that was the a higher ambition of the people in Egypt, ancient Egypt, who called themselves Kemet, uh, of the Kamal. Kamal means black people of the Kamal, right? What they did was define ambition in relation to knowing thyself. Uh, I would say in today's modern vernacular, rising to their divinity, because they believed that God was everywhere, including inside themselves. That just made sense to me. So that's one of my, I'm just sharing personally now, one of my personal ambitions is to know myself, to understand the God inside of me, the spirit, the primordial thing inside of me. I'm not saying that you need to do that. I'm saying you want to think about what ambition, um, what particular field do you want to have ambition in, and kind of think about why you want to do that, which goes right into point three. As you begin to identify fields in which you um, want to be ambitious in, one of the absolute most important aspects of it is you want to be able to do good for others. A win-win is possible. Um, you can be ambitious. So I'm ambitious for my community. I'm an African American man raised in African American communities. I love all people, but really love black people because those are the folks who I know the best, and it hurts me when black folk suffer. You know, my mama is black. You know, my kids are black. I want to see. I think black people are amazing, so I want to have an ambition for black folks to do great, and not just economically, but in terms of our justice, our spirituality, our economics. I mean, across the board. I want I want greatness for other people as well, right? And because we live on a planet that rotates at a very that's round and rotates very quickly, and that's also rotating around the sun. We want you want to know that what comes around goes around, and the doing of good will for others will eventually come back to you. Although uh, we're not saying do things just to think good things to happen to you, we're just stating the fact. So, as part of your ambition, you want to make sure that your ambition can serve others as well. Boom goes the dynamite. That's all we have for today. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.